Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're stopping by Newport Craft for a look at their newly renovated venue with CEO Brendan O'Donnell. This is an expansion that took years to complete. Now that you have a facility of this size, you have the brewing side of things and then you have the distilling side of things. First of all, how does the brewing work?
Well, I think as a company, we separate ourselves by being a brewstillery, which is kind of a term we coined ourselves when we were actually just in a company meeting trying to describe ourselves, because there's a lot of companies that try to do both, but they'll add a vodka or a gin because you don't have to age it. What makes us really different is we have aged spirits, some that are 10, 12 years old, because in 2006, when we became the first distillery in Rhode Island in 135 years, the company was using the cash flow from the beer side to pay for the spirits aging. So our beer connects to the spirits because we have a Solera program where we can have aged beer in our spirits barrels. All of our beer brands are very different. The Newport Craft brand is really accessible for everyone. So we have styles like an amber ale or a blueberry, where maybe they're not the sexiest craft beer styles, but they're approachable for anyone that wants to come up here. And then we have Radiant Pig, which is really our hop heads beer, where it's all based around art and Basquiat. And then Braven, which is really a classic, historic Pilsner style. So we hit all the different styles, and there's really something for everyone. That makes us, I think, different.
And then the distilling side, what goes on there?
We have a rum brand called Thomas II, a whiskey brand called Sea Fog, and then a clear spirits brand called White Squall. With our rum, it's what our distillery was started with in 2006. So our rum actually is now pretty famous. It's in Disney World and Epcot. We got rated by USA Today as the 9th best rum distillery in the country. So there's been a lot of accolades for it because of how long we've been really doing it, and one of the originals. Our Sea Fog whiskey, we've gotten very high regards, and that has been scored against some of the biggest whiskeys in the country. And then our White Squall products with the vodka, the gin, and soon to be the blueberry vodka, all tie nicely because we have a real portfolio now. And we're adding some new things on a smaller scale. Sea Flame, which is a version of our Sea Fog, but it's spicy with our own kind of pepper blend to be kind of like Fireball. And then we're adding a coffee liqueur or coffee vodka right now we're testing out because of the rise of espresso martinis. So we can make a quick change and make one local here and kind of listen to what our client wants.
Sounds like you've been doing something right.
I hope so, or we've been getting lucky. I don't know.
The thing that sticks out is the size of this facility. Give us a walking tour of what we can find.
So where we are right now by the brew house is where everything starts. So the goal is to make it as simple as possible so the beer can start here and end by the loading dock. And it goes kind of in a straight line. So we make the beer in our brew house. It goes into our fermentation tanks, which are the big cone tanks, to become alcohol, and then it finishes in the bright tanks, which are the cylinder tanks. And that's from there is where we package it into our canning line or to kegs. Once it's done there, we can move it right over to the loading dock area where we now have a huge walk-in that can keep beer fresh and cold, and it can go right out to the 7 states that we distribute in. On the other side of the packaging area, we have our distillery. So the distillery and the brewery don't interfere with each other. They're kind of self-sustained on their own. So they have different silos, they have different everything. And then the common denominator is that they both kind of meet in the middle with the packaging and then go out in the loading dock area. So it's really set up to be as efficient as possible and to be kind of minimalist in the way that we have to move things around and to not be invasive in the natural process of the production of all of our products.
Something really unique about this place is there is a microbiology lab on site. How does that work?
Craft beer and craft distilling is science. I mean, at the end of the day, what we're doing is everything's turning into alcohol, right? And there's a process for it. And we're trying to do everything we can on the beer side to keep oxygen out. A lot of breweries will send out their products to outside labs. By being able to do that in-house, we can not only control what is going on in our own facility, but we can actually tell people, we can get behind our product and say, we have tested this and we know what's in it. And it's really important for us from a quality control standpoint, because at the end of the day, everything we're making is consumed by people and we want to have the best possible product that we can stand behind.
What makes what you're doing here unique as a brewstillery?
Well, besides trying to make world-class beer and spirits, it's our whole process. And a lot of what breweries do is waste. There's wastewater There's a lot of caustic acid and chemicals that go into the water system. And then there's spent grain. Over the course of a year, we get up to almost 700 or 800,000 pounds of that. And we've developed a spent grain silo where local farmers from all over the state can come and pick up grain for their animals to eat, which benefits the farmers locally, but also benefits the town so that we're not just putting it in the water system. And then we're continuing to work on dialing in our wastewater treatment facility. So we have a brand new wastewater treatment facility that we've added in here. So the goal is to be putting water out cleaner than it came in. We're trying to be really cognizant of who we are as a company and our environment and our town around us.
The thing that really sticks out when you're on site here is just the size of this facility. Give us an idea of what goes on in the different areas that people can come and enjoy themselves.
The size has kind of grown organically, honestly. Newport gets about 4 million visitors every season. So for about 7 months out of the year, it's really busy on site here. But we can do a farmer's market, we can do a film festival outside, but we don't have to shut down the facility upstairs. We want to be open for the locals. We want to always have options for people to kind of come on site and enjoy our product, but also do things that are very kind of like VIP, whether it's like a tour or a tasting in our distillery, and still have options for everyone upstairs or outside as well. And this is also a facility where there's really nothing else like it. So it's a destination. And our goal as a destination is to be a draw for people to come into Newport so that the rest of the city can also benefit from it. So we're having an economic impact that's gonna benefit everybody.
When people come here, what is your hope for the experience they'll have?
I wanna wow them. I want people to be blown away by not just the view, but by the hospitality experience. We have our hospitality philosophy that we've developed. It's really to make this an experience that people remember. We want people to come in here and treat them like their family. We want people to learn something. We want people to experience our products and be blown away by not just the facility, but the quality of what we're doing and really the uniqueness of it. And then also just the knowledge from our staff that can recommend going to places locally or just really talk about anything in this industry, because the thing that's really different about breweries and distilleries is that the people that work here really love what they do. And we want people to love what they do when they're here, so that radiates to customers when they come in. So they make connections and we build the experiences for them.